Okay, wow, it's the bat.
It's been a while.
It's the bat. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know
it's
how
us when the Batman good.
Yeah, because there's like that meme, and it's like Joe Rogan looks like the henchman who would say, "It's
What?
the bat." Have you not seen
It's
it?
the bat.
Yeah, it's him laying
No,
in the
what the
bathtub.
fuck?
He looks like one of Batman's henchmen who would go, "It's the bat," but I can't do a good voice for it. It's a great meme. Yeah, how have you not seen this? Hang on. Joe Rogan, it's the bat. Yeah,
Holy
there we
shit,
go.
I
That
did
took like.
just see this.
Did you Google it?
I just searched it
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
This is
Joe
fucking
Rogan looks like
hilarious.
the henchman in an Arkham game who yells, "It's the
There's
bat."
also,
in a
there's also
purple accent.
people. There's also people pretending that Joe Rogan is gonna be Batman.
That would I
That's
would
future cooking.
not enjoy Joe Rogan
No,
as
dude.
Batman. That would
Joe
suck.
Rogan, Batman, but he's like a supercharged alpha male, and he gets just really
Batman,
gets
but he's
really angry.
shorter than all of the enemies he fights.
He's shorter than
Constantly.
everyone.
He
gets
wears
really offended
stilts, and
whenever
if one of the
somebody talks to
enemies
him.
like trips him, he can't get back up. He's like a turtle. He
Yeah,
just
there's-
he's like
there's a-
Alfred.
There's
Get me outta
there's a
here.
little bit of choreography in there where like Zoe Kravitz, Catwoman, tries to go for a leg sweep and he like steps over it. It's just that, but it hits and he just crumples.
And that's it. And then he calls in Alfred, and he's like, "Alfred, I need backup." And
Alfred.
then Alfred
No,
takes
that's
him
not-
away.
Okay, Robert Pattinson's Batman voice.
I thought it was good.
I like it because
It felt
I
way
think-
less forced than Christian Bale's, but it felt like it
Okay,
had the
okay.
same effect.
we're gonna do actual movie review. This is Derek thoughts coming in right now. I like that they returned to source, essentially, and it felt like all the other Batman, not all the other. Okay, let's change that. Each Batman. What I love about Batman is there's so many interpretations. Each Batman feels like a different one, right? But it
Yeah.
felt like Ben Affleck. Is it Ben Affleck? Yeah,
Ben Affleck was the last
his
one, yeah.
his portrayal. It felt like the amped up comic book version, just like cut and pasted onto the silver screen,
Yeah.
which is kind of not how you do it, right?
Yeah, he kind of
And
just
instead-
like the Ben Affleck one looked a decent amount like the wow, I can't even remember the name of the comic now. It's a two-part. They did it into two movies, and it was like animated. And it's like when he fights like Superman during part of it and stuff. I forgot what the comic name is.
Yeah,
But
it's
he's
the
like
one-
that
yeah,
one,
whatever.
but
Yeah,
but a
no.
little bit
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
And that one's like he's older in the comics for that than Ben Affleck
I
is.
know
but
I
yeah.
know which one you're thinking.
But
of.
yeah.
It's the one where he dies. I mean,
Right? Yeah, exactly.
yeah, no, it's very, but I think Robert Pattinson essentially, the way they did it is they took all of that like camp, and like cheese, and they like kind of like honed it down to a way where it works in a movie form.
Hmm.
Like a lot of his lines were like really dumb, but like even so, it takes you out a little bit, and you're like, I can't believe he really just said that, but it's also like, yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, like when he says like "I am vengeance" and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just like, well, for the context of his character,
I
at
thought
this
it was,
point,
I
it's
didn't
just,
even
like,
think it was cringy. Like there was no point where I was like, "This is cringe."
not cringe.
I thought it was like a
say
little bit
camp.
funny when he was like, "I am vengeance," but it was like really cool in the trailer.
Yeah.
So I think it's because it's like I've seen that like him say that 5 times that it was like a little funnier to me than if it was the first time. Because I think in the trailer when he said "I am vengeance," I thought it was like way cooler. So
Yeah, I guess. I think it's because maybe in the trailer he comes off as more of like this badass like god killer, and then
They
in the
play
movie
the
he's kind of like a
same-
brooding. He's like also like badass and stuff, but he's also a little brooding teenager.
Well, it's funny because they
Throughout
played
the-
it at the beginning, or they used the clip from the trailer that they used in the movie, which is just him like, they're like, what's this guy doing? Who are you? And he like punches that like random guy like 8 times in the face, and he's like, "I am vengeance." And yeah, it was a good moment in the trailer. It was not
Yeah.
cringy, but it was kind of funny in the movie.
I don't think it was cringy. I just felt like some parts were like very comic book campy.
Right, that's
Which is
fair.
not bad, and I don't think that's cringy. Like that, like a lot of like Marvel movies stand out in that like comic book camp. Particularly characters like Thor, I would say. And so I think this one does it basically doesn't try to remove any of the comic book camp. It just takes it and does it really well, which is really good.
Yeah, I agree with this.
Yeah.
I haven't read the comics, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I haven't read all the comics, but I know most of them. So one thing I thought was interesting is when I came into this movie, I thought it was gonna be a year 1 movie,
Right.
which is like, you know, he like just finishes up training and then he's just starting and stuff.
Right.
And like but it wasn't. He's already been doing it for 2 years. But this is like the first appearance of like a supervillain, even though it feels kind of weird to
Right.
say that about this doofy little guy in glasses.
Yeah. Who's
So
essentially
that
just
was
like
kinda
the
disappointing
Zodiac,
to
but
me.
like slightly cooler.
Yeah, the Zodiac. It played like seven. You know.
I never saw the movie Seven, but yeah.
Oh, it's just like there's like this serial killer and they're like following him around. They did it a lot of similar ways.
Right.
I think it was kind of neat.
Yeah. hmm
Oh, sorry. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I
What
was
were you
gonna say at the beginning, I was like, one thing that like stood out to me from the beginning that I was like really, I thought was very cool was how they had him like, he went back home and he was just writing just a massive amount in his journal. And it was like, yeah, this guy's been doing this every night for 2 years, and I don't know, it was cool because you never see him do that in the other. I've never seen him write a ton or anything like that, but it was like, yeah, he's taking notes, he's like analyzing, he's putting his thoughts and his like,
Yeah, the
just
writing,
like
the
thinking
writing and
over
the iris
everything.
cam.
But yeah, he's
The writing and the little eye cam I think are really cool additions to the series, because suspense of disbelief, right? Like you can suspend your disbelief about like somebody's intelligence up to a point, but if he were to like go back to his house and then redraw the cipher for Alfred, and Alfred's like, oh, okay, I'll work on this, that'd be like, okay.
right.
And so I appreciate that they added that in.
Mhm.
Yeah, also talking on suspension of disbelief. I think a lot of people might have had problems with like Batman getting shot 25,000 times and not dying.
Yeah, that was
I didn't. I thought it was completely fine.
I thought it was fine. I wish they. Okay, I understand why they didn't do any background for like why his armor is able to tank that or whatever. Because he's year two, so they don't feel like they need to introduce stuff like that. But I would have appreciated it because in the Christian Bale one, he can't do that for a lot of it, and then at one point he can, but he can only take like I think it was like one or two shots, and it was like he took like one or two shots, and they had like a massive effect, as if a real person took a shot through body armor, and it still
Yeah.
crumples you. And so I liked that just because it felt more grounded instead of Robert Pattinson getting shot by like a 12 gauge.
So
But
see, for me, what I liked about, so first of all, you can see like how thick the plates are on his chest, right?
Right.
Not just his huge, massive pecs, which I also think are awesome.
so true.
So, so there's that, right? And so basically, what I think is, first of all, you can tell that they're like all metal, right? Whenever they shoot, the sparks fly out, and you can hear the sound, and stuff, and people will be like, oh, doesn't that limit his mobility? He never uses mobility.
He doesn't
Other
at all.
versions of
Yeah,
it,
it's kind
he
of crazy.
Never, not a single time. Like I
He
think
just
that was
walks.
Really nice.
Yeah. Actually,
he walks
I'm-
and boxes.
Yeah,
He-
yeah.
He never does any like big open swings because he doesn't have the mobility to do that. He's covered in metal. So instead, all he does is these short, quick jabs, and that's all he does the entire movie. And I think that was a really, really good decision. Because every other version of the Batman, you have the comic Batman. He's like fucking flipping and spin kicking and stuff. But then he gets shot and he's fine. And it's like, okay, that material doesn't exist. But instead, they just give him metal, and then they just make it so he doesn't do the spin kicks. Ta-da. Problem solved.
Yeah. Because I remembered that because he walked out the first time and I was like, yeah, and they showed his like big thunderous boots and every
Bulky
step he
armor.
takes is like so loud. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And I assumed that was like a one-time thing for entrance. And then nope, every single time he would appear anywhere, he just boom.
Oh, the boot
boom,
sound is so
boom,
funny.
and it was just him walking
It's
instead
so
of like
hype.
because
It's so
normally he
hype.
like doesn't do that or he does other stuff. Oh, and the other thing I liked a lot is the introduction of his wingsuit. That was so sick because
Oh,
like
yeah, no, I
he
think
got
that's
up
awesome.
there and you could see his genuine fear. And then he was,
Yeah, no,
and then
I
he
love
like
that.
clipped it all together, and I like immediately knew when he was up there. I was like, oh, he's gonna have to wingsuit. This is gonna be really cool. Yeah, and then he like clipped this like his cape, which he always uses, and it always looked like very weighted and big compared to like other Batman capes I've seen. Yeah, and he like
Mm-hmm.
clipped it together, and it felt like very like sturdy and solid. And he just went whoosh,
Yeah.
and it was like a realistic
Compared
dive. I
to,
felt like it was like a realistic flight because he was like constantly losing altitude very quickly, and it was like super fast.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it just
Yeah,
felt
compared to
realistic.
like a normal like year one Batman story where you get to see him like build all his stuff.
He just has
Instead of
it,
seeing
yeah.
that, we get to see him use all his stuff for the first
Yeah,
time. Nobody knows about his car.
right, yeah. Yeah, I liked Gordon a lot, by the way. I thought Gordon was great.
Oh, I thought he was great. Yeah. I like the idea of Gordon being like the clean cop in a corrupt city.
Yeah, I did.
I like the ideas of all these characters.
I
so
liked-
Selena, you haven't. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go.
No. Go with the characters, because what I was gonna say
Okay,
was like
okay.
more plot based.
All right. So Selena, you haven't read the comics, but this is basically Selena's story, in the comics, like word for word, right? She's a hooker. Well, okay, in the comics she's literally a hooker, but yeah. So she's like a hooker. She works off of whatever she can, and she also steals. But the reason why she steals is not to make money for herself. It's to make money for her friend who's going under financial trouble, and like they work together at like a brothel or whatever, and then Batman like catches her, and she's basically constantly like in and out of the city, while doing stuff. And like one of Selena Kyle's first big stories that stood out to me was a basically word for word like rewrite of this movie. They like her friend goes missing, and then her and Batman go find this friend. Turns out the friend was hiding some information. In that case, it was like the friend was hiding like an estate that had like a secret from fucking, I don't know, Deathstroke, I don't remember. And then she gets killed, and etc. etc.
Right.
Um, and I love that they kept that in. Alfred mentions my time on the blank, and I hope that they continue with the canon that Alfred is a retired spy from the British like Air Force, because that's what he has been
Oh yeah,
in the
right.
comics.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah, no, he's dope. Alfred's
I
people be like
yeah.
Alfred be weak, and then he just beats the shit out of them, and then he's just like fuck you, and he hits them with a plate.
Yeah, this Alfred was cool. I just really liked. I don't remember the actor's name, even though he's a great actor. But I
I
liked.
just know him as Claw from Marvel.
Oh no! I mean, I was gonna say I like the one from the Dark Knight trilogy. Who's like I forgot it.
Michael Caine.
Yeah, Michael Caine. Yeah, because he's a cool actor, and yeah, I don't know. I got because that was like the first Batman trilogy that I watched, or the first Batman movies when I was younger. It made me always think of Alfred as like a lot older. And so then they did like the Ben Affleck one and stuff where he's like not super old, and I don't know, it's just never
Mhm.
the same for me as like a super old man who is simply a butler. But yeah, that's cool that this one is like has training and stuff. And it was nice that
Yeah,
he helped
yeah.
out with the cipher.
hmm I think the versions of Alfred that are the best are when Alfred is like a formidable force in his own right.
Right. I just think it's nice to have old man. He walks around and that's
Really?
basically it. Yeah, I don't know.
I
I think
like.
it's like I said, I think a lot of it's based on him being like my first experience as Alfred, so he's kind of defined the
Yeah,
character for
yeah.
me.
What
But
is what is the guy that plays Alfred's actor's name?
I do not know. I
Fuck
don't know the
the
actor for the new one.
because I just know him as Claw from fucking whatever it is. Colin Farrell as Penguin? Yo, there's no way they made
Penguin
a
was
guy
cool. I
that hot.
was because they announced that
Andy
Penguin
Circus, he plays Gollum.
he plays Gollum.
Yeah, he plays Gollum.
That was the guy who played Gollum.
Yeah, right? It's like he has so much range. He's the guy who plays Gollum.
Huh.
He's the guy who plays Claw, who's just completely fucking insane. He plays this really heartfelt character from the Batman. And yeah, he does crazy shit.
Right. Yeah. That's interesting. I didn't know he played Gollum. That's
hmm
funny. I didn't know the Gollum actor did any other acting for. I kind of forgot that like Gollum had an
Gollum is
actor.
a
Gollum
person in
almost
movies.
seems like
Yeah.
they just simply created him. Like they used an AI for his voice, and they simply CGI'd him
An
completely
AI
into
for his
existence.
voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about writing and plot. Where do you remember what you were gonna say earlier about plot?
Um. Yeah. So my favorite thing I think about the plot was simply the way that they set up the not like the city but the okay so I want yeah so I was gonna say something about the penguin and then I will say about the plot. So for the
I need
penguin,
to put a spoiler warning at the start of this. That's my
oh
bad.
yeah,
I don't do that.
you'll have to definitely do that, yeah. But anyway, for the penguin, when they like announced him being in the movie, I didn't think that was cool, honestly, because like the only portrayals of the penguin I've seen, I didn't like him as a
Are
character.
goofy as hell.
Yeah, exactly. It was like I didn't see the entire movie. I saw bits and pieces of the older Batmans, and the part that I remember specifically as a child, when I was like 4 or 5 or whatever, is seeing the origin story of the penguin and whatever older Batman movie they had him in, where he was just like a child that got like literally thrown into the gutter and got washed away into like the sewers and simply
Oh
like
yeah,
grew
no,
up
I know
like
this one.
deformed and stuff. And so that was like my introduction. See, for Alfred, I got Old Man Alfred, not from that movie, but from the other movie. And then for Penguin, I got that little creature. And then they had him in a few like animated Batmans, and he wasn't as weird as that live action one, but he was also just very like, I don't know, he didn't seem like a real foe in any meaningful capacity, and he just kind of seemed
Yeah.
like a weird little guy who happened to be like Batman's enemy but kind of sucked. And so when they announced that the
Kinda
Penguin would
sucks,
be in
yeah.
this movie, I was like, man, it feels like this might detract from like the rest of the movie. But no, they did a good job of having him as simply a guy called the Penguin who's simply a crime lord. He's part of the mafia.
This is how he's supposed to be.
Yeah, I
This
thought
is
that
how
was
he's supposed to be.
significantly better than like any of the weird stuff they did with him before.
No. I like that all the villains were like real. Like the Riddler, Paul Dano, he did a really good job of being insane.
Yeah, there was the part when he was when at the end Batman was like making fun of him and
You're-
stuff. He was like, "You're
He's like,
you're forgettable
you're
and
a
stuff."
psychopath.
And then he was like, "No,
And he's like,
no,
"No,
this isn't
no."
how it's supposed to
It's
go."
so
And
funny.
I leaned
Oh.
over to Sammy and I was like, "Redditors when their waifu isn't a real person," and that was it. And that was it. And it was just him
Redditors
like,
when
"This
Elon
is."
Musk
and-
won't put all his funding into 2D.
Yeah, Elon Musk, when the boring company tunnel he makes doesn't fix traffic and instead makes more traffic. But yeah, it was. And then the other thing I thought of that I couldn't say anything is I was like, oh, this is just L from Death Note. But it was just him going, this wasn't how it's supposed to go and stuff, and it was just really funny.
Yeah.
Um,
No, but I appreciate that like
But
when
no,
he
was
goes
cool.
like he's he's like insane, and he's not like schizophrenic insane like they always do in movies where he's like no I won't kill them, and he's like yes I will kill them, because that shit happens all the time.
Right.
And he's not like the Joker insane
Hmm.
where he's like I'm insane, like that's not that's not
I'm
it.
the clown.
He's just like really twisted, like his
Right.
just knowledge of the world, his perspective
He's
is just
jaded.
like it's just fucked up.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's all it is.
Yeah, I liked how he did. I liked how they used actual modern technology as an important part of the plot instead of, which it's interesting. They did a
Yeah.
really good job of building this Gotham that had this dark noir feel, and somehow they had like shots, and it had more screens than like Times Square. And I was like, and the way they blended that and it worked so seamlessly.
Oh yeah,
was
I
really
know
impressive.
like the exact scene you're
Yeah,
talking
exactly.
about.
Because they did like one shot and there were like 15 billion screens when he was talking about Gotham at the beginning. But they also like immediately cut to like this room that looked like it's from like 150 years ago, honestly. And so that was like pretty cool. And they kept doing that throughout in terms of like him writing in his journal with like a pen that looks like it's really old. And then they also had him be like thumb drive, and it's just a human thumb. That was very
the
funny.
the puns, I loved the
The
puns.
thumb drive was so funny to me, and then later
Thumb
URL was also
drive.
smart. I liked how they were like URL.
I had to pee like right after that. He said like URL, and then I was like, "Fuck, I gotta go pee." And then I ran to go pee because I assumed that the penguin driving scene was coming next.
Right, the
And I
penguin
was
driving scene was a while because they did it in the trailer and they cut nearly all of it,
Yeah, they
which
cut
I
out
should have
everything.
known obviously, but for some reason I thought it was just gonna end instantly in the movie, and then it like drew out for like 5 minutes or something, and
I love that that like all the action and stuff, like obviously some of it, Batman getting shot in the face 220 times and nobody actually hits his mouth, but the action was like really grounded. Like the car driving, it's like that crash is just a crash. That
Right.
was just a crash. That wasn't like an action movie crash. That was just a crash. And the only part of it that was kind of goofy was when the ramp lined up.
That was yeah no he the okay, see what I thought he was gonna do, and I might need to rewatch this. There's like a chance I'm wrong about this, but from how I saw it, it looked like he like hit the booster because he was gonna drive like straight through like a cement thing that was in front of him, and then the ramp like simply happened to move in front of his car. which I
That's pretty
that
much
was
what
it was
was.
kind of goofy because I was like, because it made it seem the way they did it. It made it seem like he hit the booster to go off the ramp, but the way he did it, there was like no way he could have known that ramp was gonna be there. It looked like he
No,
was
he's just
gonna
smart.
crash. But yeah,
No, Batman.
yeah, simply
This is
simply.
Who would win? R/who would win? A highball Batman. No, he could have predicted it.
He would have known. He had Batman with two seconds to prepare, 2 seconds to plan.
20 minutes of preparation time.
Could Robert Pattinson Batman get Kaguya and Shuriken together? 20 minutes time.
20 minutes preparation
The
time.
people listening to this will have no idea what I'm saying.
No idea what we're talking about.
I am schizophrenic.
Yeah, basically, there's a subreddit called Who Would Win, and like people like pit things together, and it's like, would Batman be able to get these two characters from an anime to fall in love? And that was it. It was funny. I think marks a really good future for DC though. However, one thing that I think they need to avoid that kind of became an issue in Marvel is not power scaling, the power spread, if that makes sense. Like, the when Ultron happened, where was Captain Marvel, etc., etc.
Right.
And it's like, it's especially bad in DC, especially if we're going for like a very grounded Batman, where his limits are like, human. Then having Superman would just like knock him out, like he just wouldn't exist anymore.
Right.
Not feasibly. And so I hope that they
No, I don't
do
think
a
they're gonna
cinematic
connect
universe.
it. Well, I feel like I think DC. I keep thinking about this. I think DC's like screwed in terms of like doing a cinematic universe. Honestly, I don't think they can do it well, feasibly at all. But what I foresee them doing if they try it at all is they're just gonna do the multiverse with Flash, because they already have that movie coming out in like next year.
Oh shit, yeah. I
Yeah,
forgot.
and it's just the Flash, and he's gonna have the multiverse, and so it's like, yeah, they can just keep making standalone movies and be like, yep, they're all connected because of the multiverse, which is fine, and I'm happy with them doing
I'm
so.
fine with that.
But
I
it's
just
just
think
kind
they
of
should-
cringe
I-
because they didn't build it up like Marvel did. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm
also
gonna
I don't
be-
think they need it to be connected because at this point I hate like most of the Justice League. I don't
Mhm.
know, it's just not that cool to me compared to Marvel, and that's coming from
I
someone
mean,
who
first
likes
of all,
DC more.
I don't
so.
think they're gonna be connecting anything to the Snyder era
Anymore.
I think that era's done.
No, they're still doing it because they have the new Aquaman and they have the Flash, and they
Wait,
have
what? They have a new Aquaman?
yeah, second Aquaman movie.
What? I thought it was
and
just
then
like
this
the
is the
Flash.
Flash movie, and then also
fuck?
Black Adam, and Shazam.
Oh, okay. Black Adam's dope though. Shazam was its own thing, so. Oh no, it wasn't.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure it's in the Zack Snyder. That's what I'm saying.
It
Like the
is, it
Zack
is.
Snyder
Man of-
is the
Superman showed up at the
the
end.
Zack Snyder is currently the DC universe, which is like pretty depressing. Because they can't really
kinda
recover
sucks.
from that unless they revamp it, but they're clearly not
Mhm.
going to do that. They've committed to this universe with the standalone movies, so it's kind
That
of just whatever.
sucks.
Yeah,
This-
exactly. That's my
this-
point.
this
So
blows.
I think what they'll keep doing is I'll just focus on the unrelated standalone movies like Suicide Squad and like this that are simply only connected because they're in a multiverse, and I'm happy with that, honestly.
Yeah,
Because that would be better
I'm
than
fine
them
with it
trying
as
to be
well.
like Zack Snyder universe is.
And honestly, I think they should just keep putting out like standalone characters, like Joker. I
Right.
mean, Joker, don't make a sequel, please God.
I
But
would be happy with the Joker sequel, actually.
no, what the hell?
I thought it could do a good sequel. I don't know.
Where the hell would the sequel
Actually,
go?
yeah, I was considering this, but I mean, I don't know. There's a lot you can do with Joker. Well, actually, I don't know what you could do with Joker without Batman past this point. So they would have
Yeah,
to,
no, I don't think-
and they're not gonna do it with this Batman. So yeah, actually, never mind.
Who the fuck plays Joker in this Batman? He shows up at the
Yeah,
end.
you should-
Who is it?
Yeah, so
Who
when
is
they
that?
were testing the movie, they didn't say who at the time, but it was like everyone basically guessed it was the Joker. But they tried two cuts in front of audiences. I think this was the time when the movie was also 4 hours long. But they did
What?
yeah, they did one with a scene with unknown character who everyone was like, oh, this is probably the Joker. And they didn't announce the actor, or I think they did. I think they announced a actor for the movie, and people couldn't figure out who he was, so they assumed it would be the Joker because he was like a high standing actor. I don't know if it actually ended up being that he played the Joker. I'll look it up in a second. But anyway, they tested two versions of the movie, one with a scene with this character like talking to Batman and being present, and the version without it. And the version without it was better rated, so that's what they went with, which
Okay.
is this one. And so they just have him like
Yeah.
some talk, but you don't see him or anything. Um, I'm pretty sure it's the Joker. I don't know what other character they would have done for that. That would have been weird.
Oh,
But
I found it. Barry Keoghan is the guy who seems like he's gonna be the Joker. Is there anything else
hang
that
on,
you
is
might
he
know him
the?
from? He was in The Green Knight. He was in Dunkirk.
Yeah, this guy.
He was in
Mhm.
Chernobyl.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Why do I know this guy? I haven't seen any of those shows. Why do I know
There's
this
a God. There is a guy in the Dark Knight series in the Dark Knight. I think it couldn't have been Heath Ledger, obviously, but it was like a guy during the you haven't seen the never mind, you haven't seen the Dark Knight. There's a one scene with this actor. Um and I swear I saw him in this movie at a random point, and I was like, "Yo, that's the guy." And then he didn't show up again. Like he was playing a random cop, so I think I got the actor wrong. But it like looked like this specific guy, and I thought maybe that's the Joker because he seemed like a decently well high up actor. But nope, I think I got the actor wrong, and that was just a random guy playing a random cop, and I'm crazy. But it looked like this
Okay.
one guy from The Dark Knight, and I was like, oh, I guess they're gonna use this actor for another Batman movie as like the Joker probably. But I think I'm just wrong.
I didn't like his laugh.
The Joker's laugh?
Yeah.
I
but,
don't
you know,
remember what it sounded like, honestly. I just remember him
it
being
sounds like me fake laughing.
right.
He goes like, ah, ha, 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 ha. And it's just, meh.
Right.
Oh well, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That guy seems like he could be weird. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like this is me just judging him based off how he looks, which is odd. But I don't know. He looks like he could play the Joker. I mean, is what I
I
mean
think
by
he
that.
looks like he could play the Joker. I'm hoping that his like motives as the Joker are good. And obviously the motives as the Joker are never do anything. But at the Joker's core, the main motive is to fuck with Batman. Not to kill people, it's to fuck with Batman,
Right.
right? And so I hope that they let that through more. It's like forcing Batman to make difficult decisions, putting him in situations that like feel impossible, not from a physical standpoint, but from like a mental standpoint. That's what the Joker's always been about, and I think that's where his character shines the most.
Hmm.
And I hope that they don't fuck that up because
Yeah, I agree with this.
Jared Leto. Like if you think about, obviously I haven't seen The Dark Knight, but if you think about The Dark Knight, the portrayal of the Joker there, like he's never ahead physically, he's always just ahead, and that's kind of how it is. Like that's the point. It's just the Joker is just smarter, but not necessarily like better. He's just like because the whole like he only has to win once kind of deal. He's just like putting you in these really difficult situations.
Right.
That's what I like.
Yeah,
about
that's
the
a funny quote. That's a funny quote that people use from the what's it? It was the
I have no idea where it's from.
yeah, it's from the IRA, the Irish Republic. I don't even know if it's the IRA. I might be using the wrong abbreviation. The Irish militia that was like fighting against Britain through
Oh,
terrorism.
never mind. I do know what
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
from.
yeah, and they were speaking specifically about Margaret Thatcher, and everyone takes this quote and uses it as like inspirational and stuff. And it's funny because it was a direct death threat against the Queen, but or not the Queen, the Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. But they were like, yeah, you have to get lucky every single time. We only have to get lucky once, and that's the quote. And
That's pretty funny.
but yeah, that is an accurate way of saying it. But yeah, we will watch the Batman trilogy.
Yeah. The Dark Knight trilogy. The Batman is a new one.
Yeah. What I told Sammy, because I'm also gonna watch the Dark Knight trilogy with her.
I kind of want to go watch the Batman again in theaters and then take notes over it. So that
I
means
might. We
whenever
could
I'm
go
watching
with James.
Yeah, I'm down to go because I just want to sit there and take notes of it.
Right. This is fair. I didn't have like a lot of notes or
There
like.
was a lot of metaphors which I thought were very neat.
Yeah. Wait. Hang
Which I
on.
can
There was
talk
like
about in a
something I
second.
was gonna say before this. I don't remember.
Oh,
what it-
sorry.
No, you're good. I meant to say it, but then I didn't. No, this is fine. We will continue, and I will eventually remember it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna talk about metaphors now.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh
So-
wait, no. What I was gonna, yeah, I
Oh,
remember.
never mind.
What I told Sammy is, as a standalone movie, this is probably the best Batman movie. But
Yeah, I think that's true.
but as a trilogy, the Dark Knight trilogy is still probably, I don't know. I think they do, because I really like when things are drawn out and they like pull stuff from the beginning and conclude it at the end and stuff. And I thought the Dark Knight, because of Christopher Nolan, did just a really good job of that. So this couldn't, you can't really do that with a standalone movie as well. So there's like,
Yeah.
I think overall I still enjoy the Dark Knight trilogy more than like this specific Batman movie as an experience. But I think as a standalone movie, this is probably better than even the Dark Knight. So
Yeah, I think Nolan also had a little bit more security behind like his ability to get signed up for two-hour movies and tell the story you want to tell. So, obviously this movie did great. I'm sure it's gonna get a sequel. I'm sure it's gonna get a trilogy. I'm sure it's gonna get a whatever. But I do feel like this movie was intended to basically also be final if it had to be.
yeah,
With like
right, because
Catwoman leaving,
they did pull
Batman finishing out his arc.
right. They
etc.
did, yeah, they did pull the thing from the beginning to end where he's like, I have made no progress in 2 years. And then at the end, he's like, I have made an impact,
progress.
but it's not the impact I intended, which I thought was cool. I actually thought that was a cool message. That he was like, this is not quite what
Yeah.
I wanted to happen. This has caused unforeseeable events. However,
I think
I'm still
I think it's
drawing
really
out
good.
what
The
I
story
wanted out of
writing
people.
is so simple. The character writing is so simple, and it just gets the job done. And I think that something that people don't appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, metaphors. this is a good segue. So, the main metaphor I saw was the usage of hands
Mm-hmm.
throughout the entire time. So Batman is always like reaching out to shit, and people are reaching out to him. The main thing that Catwoman does whenever they're together is touch his face with her hands,
Right.
and like I think it's a very neat and very simple kind of thing that they do. So like in short, this is gonna be a very short thing. So like at first, I don't remember exactly what. This is why I want to watch this movie again. There's like a moment in which Batman like rejects somebody's hand. I don't remember what.
Oh, they
And it's
haven't
like, oh,
actually.
look how closed off he is.
Yeah, we can just watch it on HBO Max. It's coming out on
Oh,
there
shit.
soon. We'll
Yeah,
just
hell yeah.
watch it then instead of like having to pay for it again. Actually,
Yeah, but it'd be cool.
this is
In
true.
theaters again.
I kind of want to see an IMAX. We could go to see it in IMAX. Cause
Yeah,
we
sure.
didn't. These tickets were paid for by Sammy's mom because she has like a Tinseltown subscription or whatever. I don't know.
Oh, you guys also watched it in Tinseltown?
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah, I
cool.
wanted to do
Okay.
IMAX, but
Yeah, we'll go
but
watch
yeah.
them on IMAX if we can. Yeah, and then in the middle of the movie, like Catwoman like touches his face, and he also like reaches out to Alfred and grabs his hand, and that shows like a connection between those two. And then like the way Catwoman escapes from Carmine Falcone is by scratching him, not just like stabbing in the face, but like scratching, like dragging away with your hands. And then at the end, he reaches out to the people, etc., etc., etc. There's a bunch of stuff, and I have to gather my thoughts if I want to talk about this in length because I need to watch the movie again.
Mhm.
But I think that is a very strong symbol throughout the movie, and if you watch it again, you should pay attention to it because I think it's very easy to see. whenever you
Right.
see it.
Yeah.
And also, thumb drive.
Thumb drive, my favorite,
This is so funny, dude. It's
my
actually the
favorite
best
idea
pun
of the movie.
of all time.
Thumb
When-
drive.
The funniest moment in the
Yeah,
movie
and
is
he
when
like
he holds it up.
That was
He holds it up.
holds-
He doesn't say anything else, and he goes,
Thumb drive.
drive.
Yeah, that was actually peak because Commissioner Gordon was like, oh.
Wow, this man's fucked. And then he goes, thumb drive. What rating was this movie? Was this movie like PG?
It was
It's like
PG-13,
M,
yeah.
right? No way, it's PG-13.
Yeah, it wasn't R-rated.
They did a really good job of doing
That
a lot
finger?
of gore.
No way, that finger. I'm realizing that was straight up a severed finger.
And they showed like 3 frames of a guy without a face.
Yeah, but there wasn't any cursing, which aids it a lot. As
There
far-
wasn't any cursing.
As
No,
far
there
as
was cursing.
I remember. When did
No,
they?
no. They said shit a couple times.
Oh, they didn't say the F word, though, I don't think.
I think they did.
I can actually see the great thing about IMDb is it tells you when they use and
Really?
what words. Yep. Because I used
No
to do
way.
this. I used to look at this for movies.
I gotta make sure what I watch doesn't say.
Yeah, literally. Um,
No way.
here, let me pull it up. Yeah, it's
No way. I can't wait till I'm a parent. I'll be like, oh, you wanna watch this new movie? Give me
exactly.
a second. You scroll through IMDb to make sure they don't say fuck.
Yeah, it's called the Parents Guide.
The Parents Guide.
Mhm.
Oh, I see it. What the fuck?
Here, let me see it. Where is it? Profanity 8.
Sex and nudity.
See, okay, so it tells you what
8?
they use. It tells you what they use and how many uses. They use
A
use,
woman's nipples are briefly seen under her shirt. Jazz.
the F word one time.
Yeah. Okay. I was right.
Which is like they're
it was
usually I think
it was
allowed
like
to say it
almonds.
like 2 maybe 3 times in a PG-13 movie.
They said shit a bunch.
Yeah, shit is like the second highest one on their little
One
like,
use of Jesus as profanity. They say Jesus a lot.
I feel like they did. But I guess not. I don't know. I trust these people. These people. Oh, 20 variations of Jesus
no
throughout.
way. No
And
way.
large
This
spoken
is
by Gordon.
PG-13.
Um,
Really?
but anyway, yeah, yeah.
There's no fucking PG-13. My fucking ass, man. This shit is... Holy crap.
One of the frightening and intense scenes simply says the Riddler blows up a guy. That's it. It's just listed as the Riddler blows up a guy. I can't speak. This is so funny.
That's
Alright.
the Gil Carlson bit. Yeah. Also, the cinematography was so good, and I don't think I really need to talk about it because you already mentioned it in like the noir setting. But like, oh my god, the cinematography was so good.
Yeah.
One shot, one scene that really stood out to me. Obviously, I'm sure it stood out to everyone. It's one of the most memorable scenes of the movie. Is the first fight at the 40 Below.
Yeah.
Where, you know, the lights turn out and he just beats the shit out of people and you can only see him with the gunshots. That shit is so cool.
Yeah, and they
man.
do that multiple times in the movie.
They do it
too.
a bunch, and I think leaning into the horror aspect of Batman really gets the job
It's
done.
got a PG.
I think.
It's got a PG rating in Canada, by the way. I think this is really funny.
Yo, Canada be wildin'. There's no way you show this to like your 12-year-old kid and don't expect them to be like, holy shit,
Attack
I'm
on
imagining
Titan.
like rats.
Attack on Titan has a PG rating in Canada, though.
What?
Which in the U.S. Attack on Titan's TVMA, obviously.
Dude,
So,
could you imagine having your little 12-year-old kid going in, sitting down, seeing the Batman, they come out and just are fucking terrified of
12-year-old's
rats.
too high
They're-
for PG.
they're
It's like a
terrified.
9-year-old. You have like a
9-year-old?
Yeah. Because
Okay,
PG.
I want you to imagine. You take your 9-year-old self and you put them in a room and you show them a scene in a movie in which they describe in great detail. Not in great detail. They describe it in small detail so you can imagine a lot of it yourself. Of a guy's face being eaten off by rats while he's trapped in a box and screaming for his life. And then later on in the movie, you show like a couple seconds of literally this guy with his face torn off. And you don't expect them to actually be terrified for the next 5 months. That shit would fucking... Holy crap, man. If I saw that, I would cry.
Also, yeah. And also on this list is Better Call Saul, which I don't know.
Huh?
Maybe Better
What?
Call Saul's not that bad, but I mean, if
What-
it's as
what
bad
list
as
are you
Breaking
looking
Bad,
at?
then it's just like that's surprising. Anyway, Canada be wild, and that's about all it takes.
Breaking Bad just had some like gore, didn't it?
Yeah, but they like cussed a ton, as far as I know.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know. The entire thing had an MA rating in the U.S. So,
Weird.
but
Yeah, I guess this is like the natural end to this episode because we're done talking about the Batman.
Oh wait, hang on. Hang on. I want to see. Oh, there were like a couple other things. Robert Pattinson, his favorite villain from the Batman in general is Condiment Man. He just shoots condiments.
I love Condiment
Pattinson was seriously like, yeah, that's such a wonderful idea for a villain. So, fingers crossed
Pattinson-
for Condiment
Pattinson-
Man appearance next movie.
Robert Pattinson lies a bunch.
Oh no, yeah, I
in
know. It's really
interviews.
funny.
It's so funny because he just doesn't care and he just makes up shit. The Condiment Man thing is likely actually true,
hmm
but like, fucking what is it? There was one time he was like, yeah, like the interview started asking me questions and I made up a story in which like I ran away with the circus when I was like 5 years old and I came back later, and then like and then he's in his words, I don't know what the actual story was. It was something along those lines. And in his words, he was just like, I have no idea why I said that. I have no idea what possessed me to say that, but I did.
Yeah, no,
and
he's a
it's
funny
not true."
guy. He's
That's literally what he
he's
said.
just in a
I need to
silly,
go find
goofy
this
mood.
story.
He went to Lubbock. He came to Lubbock.
What?
Yeah, this is like Sammy's favorite fun fact is that
Fuck.
he came to Lubbock and got
When?
drunk and then just like wandered around and said later that it was his favorite day of all time.
When?
Which is probably
When was
lying.
this?
A while ago, because they referred to him as the Twilight actor. I think it was like in 2016 or something. Maybe
Robert
older than
Pattinson lies in interview.
that. 50 billion articles come up.
Yeah. Oh, he's just been lying since 2009. He's pretended to be a skateboarder, a drug dealer, and American.
Yeah, and then there's that there's like that one well-known one where he's like, oh yeah, I had a stalker. And she got so annoying and I was so lonely that I went out to dinner with her. And then all I did was talk about and complain about my life. And she was so bored by it that she completely stopped stalking me and never talked to me again. And everyone
his
reposts that.
lies-
Everyone reposts that. And apparently he that was just a complete lie that he just came up with. So
Dude, his lies are like super elaborate. I think it's hilarious. This is what I want to do. Like, this is what the shit that I
I
do.
want to lie. Why can't I lie
Oh,
more?
no, okay, I know what it was. So he said, he was promoting like a movie about like a circus, and he said to Matt Lauer, funny, he said he never thought about running away to the circus as a little kid because a clown died on stage the first time he went to it. And he said he was in the car, and then the car that he was in exploded. And then when Lauer Austin was like, "Are you serious?" He was like, "Yeah." Everybody like ran out. It was terrifying. It was the only time I've been to the circus. And like 2 weeks later, he was like, "That was a complete lie." That is so funny.
Yeah.
He is so funny, dude. I want Robert Pattinson to host SNL.
Yeah,
Please make it happen.
I thought his little white boy haircut was so funny in Batman because they showed it like the one I'm talking about is like they only showed it for like one scene where he had like I think it might not have even been the funeral. I can't remember. It might have been the funeral. He had like one scene where he specifically had a super white boy haircut, and it was just so funny to me to see him just like chilling with just an average haircut. I think it was the funeral. I'm pretty sure it was the funeral scene. But yeah, he was just a funny little guy. He played the Batman really well. I went to the mall yesterday with Sammy, and this guy at Zoomies was like, "What are you guys doing?" And
The fuck
over
is
the weekend,
Zoomies?
it's just a place. They sell clothes, man. The mall creates random words.
Zoomy, Zumi.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about then. I thought it was like Zoomies, and I was like, what the fuck is this store?
Like what people
Who
say about
goes here?
cats.
Yeah, like dogs and
"That's
cats.
Zoomies," yeah. Yeah, but no, he was just like, "Are you guys doing anything?" And I was like, "Yeah, we're going to the Batman." And he was like, "Oh, I've been meaning to, but I'm not sure about the actor for Batman." And I was like,
No, I knew Robert Pattinson was gonna be.
Yeah, and I
fucking
was
great.
like,
he plays edgy twink
exactly.
so well. And
Yeah, I told him, I
this
was
is
like,
gonna
no,
be-
he's what do you mean edgy twinks? He's never played a twink. that man, they showed multiple
Oh,
shots
God,
of him
he's
from
so
behind.
hot.
He had like
Holy
20
shit.
billion muscles on his back.
Oh
I've
my
never seen
God.
someone have so many individual muscles on their back before.
He's so hot, dude.
But anyway, yeah, he was like, he said he wasn't sure about the Batman actor, and I was like, no, he's a good actor, and he was like, yeah, I agree, I just don't know if he's good for the Batman, and I was
He
like,
is.
yeah, but no,
I had
I was
no
sure,
doubt.
I was sure, because this is
As in, like it's like from the Twilight, from the Twilight. Oh jeez, from Twilight, I was like, yeah, that's Batman. Like people be like, oh, he's too edgy. Have you ever seen like early Batman? He's just a
Right.
little edgelord.
No,
who's,
I like this better.
obscenely buff.
genuinely okay. I like this better. I have one interesting opinion on this, that is like specific to me. In the Dark Knight trilogy, there's like a considerable number of daytime scenes, and it's Christian Bale. So he played, the guy in American Psycho and other people that are just like normal people. So he's very,
Yeah.
he knows how to play like essentially like a Chad. But it's like they had a lot of daylight scenes in the Dark Knight trilogy. And not all of them were him being Playboy. Some of them were just happened to be in daylight. But I actually liked those. And so this movie there was obviously a specific choice to have like all of it at nighttime and all of it be really rainy, which is fine because I think that helped build the setting they were going for. But at the same time, I did like having some light time, in the
You
movie.
do like having
I
yeah,
liked
okay,
the
that makes
Christian
sense.
Bale light time, and this Robert Pattinson's Batman would not be someone who does that. He would not go outside or do anything.
Not
He
yet.
literally said like nothing to no one. He had like 5 lines to actual people in that movie. Everything else, he just like people would say stuff to him, and he would just not respond and not even look at them. But
He said some
I
stuff
did
to
enjoy
Falcone
kind of how Christian Bale
once.
like wasn't that like
Yeah.
antisocial, and that at least he like because I feel like the Playboy persona could go. I would prefer the awkward kind of creepy guy of Robert Pattinson to the Playboy of Christian Bale, but I do wish there were like I don't know a little bit of normal humanity within within Robert Pattinson. But no, he's just a weirdo and he only exists at nighttime. But that's
I
but yeah.
think that I think that in the next movie he'll probably be a little bit more open.
Yeah, I imagine because I imagine as a standalone movie it was like a specific choice, and I think they hammered it really hard, and I think it was good. I think it was cool that it
Yeah.
was all at nighttime and it was all raining and it all had the noir feel, but
God,
also I
oh,
liked
the
daytime
other shot that
subtitles.
really stood out to me a ton was the one where he looks at the Riddler and the Riddler is masked by the light
Oh,
in the
really?
funeral. That shot
Yeah.
I thought was fucking awesome. And he looks up again and he's gone.
I need to.
That is that.
Oh,
Ah,
you mean at
dude,
the
love
beginning
it.
when he's walking in?
No, no. Whenever he's like in the crowd
I don't
and like
remember
he
this
like
shot.
looks up and he sees like this person. What when the after the car comes in, he like looks up and he sees this guy, and he like
Oh, is that?
makes.
I don't think I noticed that that was the Riddler. Honestly,
I'm pretty sure that's supposed to
our
be the
seats
Riddler.
were like decently far away. We had like the best seats, but they
We
were
go
like
see this
far
again
away
in
from the
IMAX.
screen. Yeah, I
Um,
my eyes are not
as soon
good
as
enough.
possible.
Yeah, I couldn't see
Your
some of
fucking
the.
eyes suck.
Yeah, exactly. I
Dipshit.
couldn't see some of the details in the movie, and I was like, "No way! I'm in a movie theater and I can't see some of the
That
details."
blows. You suck.
But yeah, that was funny. So I didn't notice that that was the Riddler, but that makes sense. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I liked the end a lot. When he like fell into the water and then like
The one spot in which I was like, he should have died here. Like the, I was fine with him getting like shot in the chest with a shotgun because
right.
um, yeah. The one spot in which I was like, okay, he should have died here, is the when he fell into the water. Like it was kind of like built up to this big thing where he cuts this rope. What the fuck am I talking about? He cuts this wire,
Right,
and
the
it's all
cord, yeah.
electrified, and it's like a self-sacrifice move. But then he's just fine. He gets back up, and I was like, okay, that's
I
fine.
thought that was odd, but also I knew that he survived because they've been talking about doing the sequel for weeks. So it's like I knew he wasn't gonna die, but he got that shotgun.
Obviously, he wasn't gonna die, but like I wish at least he like passed out, and then he was like carried up by people, a la
Oh, like Spider Man.
Harry Potter, Spider-Man
Oh,
or
okay.
Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I liked. Well, yeah, that's fair, but I did like the scene a lot after that.
And then he takes another shot of the monster energy and gets back up and continues.
Yeah, no, because they did build that up like he was gonna die, but I knew he wasn't gonna die, and so I thought that was a little weird. But
I knew he
but I
wasn't gonna
liked
die, but
how
I was
right
like-
after it he did the scene with the flares where he was not doing
The
anything
flare scene was so sick.
because he wasn't doing anything Batman. And the rest of that movie, the conclusion of the movie, I thought was really strong because he wasn't doing any like Batman punching, and he wasn't doing any like I stand
Yeah.
on a tall statue that's like of a gargoyle.
He's never like fear.
Yeah,
He's
he
just
was.
Batman.
He was
He's
simply
just
he
the
was
guy.
simply a guy that was doing what he could to help out people in need. And at that moment, that was for him to provide light and pull them out of
Yeah.
the thing that they're stuck under, and that's all he needs to do because that's how he can help. And
Yes,
so
this
I thought
movie
that
has
was really good.
theming.
Yeah,
Very, very good theming.
yeah,
You
and
wanna
then
go watch this
the
movie tomorrow.
right, and then they I'm not gonna go watch it tomorrow, but yeah, they did it purposefully a really good shot of all the people walking out behind him with
Oh
the
my
flare.
god. It reminded me of this other. It's a shot in a video game, I believe, but it's like it reminds me of like Fish.
Oh, for
You
real
know?
fish. I guess.
Yeah, that's
I've
about it.
seen-
I was like,
I've seen shots similar to that, but I can't think of what they're from. But yeah, I thought that was cool. It was like obviously they did it for that shot. It wasn't. It didn't feel like
this one-
natural or
there's
anything.
one
but
from
it was still
this
very
one.
cool.
First of all, here's one. Here, I'll send this to you. I'll also I guess I'll put this in the video. It's from Aquaman. This is like the shot. I was like, huh. because they always do this kind of thing with like water and fish, and it was interesting to see it.
Oh yeah, you're right. That does look like fish. Yeah, it looked just like that.
And then there's also there was one of these in Underwater, if you remember that movie.
Yeah.
Underwater escape scene. No, I'm looking for the movie Underwater. An underwater movie.
Ooh.
This sucks. Nope. All right, I'm giving up on that. Well, whatever. Yeah.
Oh, let me see. Yeah, okay. There's some commentary on there's trivia for the IMDb page, and I will see if there's anything important about. Wow. Okay. So Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne is inspired by Kurt Cobain, apparently, which is funny because Nirvana's like, they that's the main song. That's not the Batman theme that they play in the movie. So
I love all the music was really on point as well.
right.
I think they should have leaned more into EDM.
Mm-hmm.
I always talk about like really weird music choices, making a movie, or
Well, they
a show,
did do
like
the EDM in the club.
Yeah, but I feel like they should have taken it out of the club as well.
I don't know.
Like as a motif.
I don't know if I would have enjoyed. Honestly, I don't think that I would have enjoyed Batman.
Not for a
listening
really
to it.
long time.
I
Not for like the whole thing. Just for like a moment, I think it could have done really well.
I would have enjoyed him listening to some music though. Like if he had Mitski playing, you haven't heard Mitski. This won't make sense to you. But like if they had like not a whole song. If they had like a 15-second clip or something, and then they did that for like a few other modern songs that are kind of just like emo Batman, but not like I don't know, not like
I know the idea behind Mitski, not the idea, like the general vibe.
I don't mean emo as in like I need to clarify. He's not even emo. It's more just like sad music. But like yeah, like sad music that's like modern. If they had some of that kind of stuff playing, I think I would enjoy that.
He's got the fucking Riddler scythe. He's looking at it and he's like, I got a buy yesterday. It took me like
Lil Nas X helps him decipher it. He comes out of the shadow. Lil Nas X is Alfred.
Oh my god. Can't wait until Lil Nas X becomes a recognizable actor because he's gonna, right?
Oh yeah, he said he's gonna. That's definitely.
He's funny and he's good at acting. There's no way he doesn't. He's gonna, and he's hot.
Yeah,
So-
this is correct.
I can't wait until he becomes a recognizable actor. That's gonna be so funny. All right, this is gonna be the end of the episode right here.
Wait,
I'm excited.
hang on. I have
he has
more.
something else to talk
I
about.
want to make
Never
sure
mind.
there's not more interesting trivia.
Gotta check my Batman trivia. Wah.
Yeah, okay. I thought this was definitely true, the way they did it, and I thought it was cool. But Matt Reeves, the director, said that he liked the idea of the car, of the Batmobile, as a horror figure, making an animalistic appearance to scare the hell out of people. Yeah, I thought that was accurate. They did do it as like a scary little Batmobile, which I thought was cool. Cause it's kind of funny. Cause in The Dark Knight, his Batmobile, you don't know this yet, but I'm just gonna tell you, his Batmobile is just like a military technology that
Oh
they
no, I
repainted
know, I
black.
know that.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
worry.
And I kind of thought that was the coolest Batmobile. Because I've seen like a bunch of Batmobiles at this point in games and stuff, and most of them look like the Robert Pattinson one. I still think that his military technology one was the coolest one, but also it kind of is like a get out of jail free card. Because it's like he didn't
Yeah.
have to make it or anything. They were just like, here's this technology, and then he uses
I
it.
like this one as it
But
is
I like
right
this
now
one
so
because
far.
yeah, this one because they show his garage and they show
Him like putting it.
yeah,
you don't see
they
him
showed
putting
it for
together.
the motorcycle, but they showed all of the
at the start
motorcycles
of the movie.
deconstructed and like every piece was like intricately like set together, and so it was like,
At the start of the movie,
It was,
you
like,
see
clear
the
that he built
Batmobile
the
in the
Batmobile.
background.
oh okay, that's
You
cool,
see, you see it like being worked on, and I saw it, and I was like, I bet that's the Batmobile. And it
right?
showed up later. It showed up later, and then after that scene where it shows up later, when they go back into the garage, you see it fully built in the background, so it shows that he's been working on it. I think that's just really cool.
Yeah, so I like this Batmobile because of that, and so it looks similar to the other ones that I don't like as much, but those didn't have the benefit of seem like he actually made them, and so this one's pretty cool for that reason. So it might be my favorite Batmobile. So yeah, that's most of it. Oh, the other thing I want to mention is I don't know much about it, but I remember in the comics because I read random comics, and so I think in sixth grade I read part of a random Batman comic, and it was like a compilation of them. It wasn't like a single issue, obviously,
Yeah.
but it was like the Gotham had been cut off, and I don't remember how it got cut off, but it got like cut off and it was like crippled.
The what? Sorry, say that again. Oh, Gotham.
Gotham.
Oh, dude, is this Batman All Star? Dude,
That's what I'm
Batman All Star
saying, and
goes
so it
fucking
was
wild.
like, and so when they did, and then they
Does he
also
not have
did that.
sleeves? Does is he wearing a is he wearing
I
like a
have
sleeveless
no
vest?
idea. I don't remember
Okay.
what the Batman wore. I just remember the idea was that Gotham was like in a great state of poverty, and the police were like scared, and
Yeah,
they weren't able
I
to
know
do
this one.
anything, for the most part. And they've done this. They did this in. I forgot. They did this in the Dark. I'm just gonna tell you this too. They did this in the Dark Knight Rises, and it was cool, but it was not the same. And then they did it in Arkham Knight, the video game, which I didn't play a bunch of, but also that's kind of different. Because the Arkham Knight video games are like, they're set up as video games, so there's a ton of enemies, and they have tanks, and they're kind of like the same group of enemies of like 10 guys replicated and spread across the city, which is kind of boring too. But that's for a video game. But this is interesting because I feel like they can do this cut off Gotham, that's been destroyed partially really well.
Yeah.
And so I'm interested to see if they're pulling from this like same comic for each of these or what, because I just remember it being like pretty interesting to me to see Gotham cut off completely, and it was just like him trying to instill any like force, but he couldn't obviously be the entire police force because of how big
Mhm.
Gotham was. So I thought that was an interesting concept that like crime was prevailing completely. Um, it was total anarchy, and he couldn't really do a lot about it. So. But they did show, actually, never mind. They showed the National Guard at the end. So
Yeah. I appreciate that they
they
made
talked about it, how it would be a power grab and stuff, and they have the Penguin miniseries is gonna come out. Um,
Penguin's so good. I can't believe that's Colin Farrell. Do you know what Colin Farrell looks like?
no.
Look up Colin Farrell. Look at how hot that guy is and go, "Oh my god, what the hell?"
Oh, he has prosthetics. Oh, it's that guy. No way.
I
No
know, right? He's so
way.
hot. He's so hot.
He doesn't
and then
even
they made
look.
him into this.
He doesn't even relatively look the same.
How did they happen? How did this happen? They did a really good job because I could not tell who that actor was. I was like, wow, this actor's doing a really good job. I wonder who it is. And it was fucking Colin Farrell.
This is great. This is great.
There's no way, man.
In
Not real.
the thing, in the IMDb thing, Colin Farrell revealed his son was utterly horrified at the sight of his transformation into Penguin.
For real. This should be. Are you serious?
The other one he said is that he tried out his prosthetics, and he went to Starbucks, and no one recognized him, but people stared at him. So
Yeah.
that's funny to me. That's about it.
Yep. This is. I'm gonna have to cut out every single other time I said that the episode was gonna end.
Bruce Wayne
I'm not. Gonna
will
bother.
listen to Mitski and beat to death
Bruce
drug
Wayne will listen to
dealers
Mitski.
before he goes to therapy.
Maybe Bruce Wayne, in a ploy to run for mayor and win the power grab and to appeal to the kids, will do a Fortnite dance on stage.
This is so true. This is so true.
Robert Pattinson defaulting would make my day.